Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday, or I guess whatever day you're watching this. My name's Keith. I am the meditation teacher, instructor person here on this channel, Meditation Breaks. And this channel is, as you may have guessed, learning about meditation. And specifically, we look at a lot of kind of like themes and real life examples to kind of illustrate how we can take some of the concepts that we learn about doing meditation and apply them to our kind of real life right out there, because we all are quite busy. We don't have maybe as much time as we'd like to sit quietly. But the good news is you don't need to have perfect quiet to meditate. We can take these things that we're learning and really kind of embed them into all the things that we do. Cool. So if you're like, that sounds great, but I've never meditated before, welcome. This is a great class for you. Each session stream, I start with a introduction to what meditation is, how does it work, how do we do it, should we bother, all the questions that we're probably asking ourselves, when we're thinking about adding something else to our kind of routine. So we will start with that, a little talk about what meditation is. Then we're going to do a short breathing meditation together to kind of get everyone like, oh, that's how we do it. Okay, cool. And then we're going to talk about a topic, and we'll close with another meditation. And today's topic is going to be, it's one that's very special to me. I had a really good friend pass away yesterday, and they were somebody that really exemplified this idea of giving time and energy to other people. And so I wanted to honor him by using that as kind of our subject for today. So last thing I'll say before I get started is, if you at any moment here have a question or want me to repeat something or whatever, you can just use the chat feature and ask me. You don't have to wait for me to say, does anyone have any questions? You can just chat. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, he was a really good person. Okay, so here we are. Meditation. What the heck does that mean? We all have an idea. Janice, I'm fine. I just had a really good a friend pass away. Thank you. I appreciate it. So we all know what this word kind of means. When I say meditation, your mind instantly thinks of something. Your mind conjures like an image, right? Based on what we are familiar with in terms of meditation. And that thing that we're familiar with almost certainly is this. Somebody's sitting cross-legged with their arms like this. Their eyes are closed. They look peaceful. Go ahead and Google it. That's all that comes up. There's nothing else. This is only one image, this is a very traditional kind of seating position for meditation. But this, sitting down, cross-legged and whatnot, is not required. Since it's not required, it's not really the essence of meditation. And this is great news, because as we get on in years, back hurts. It's not so easy to sit down, And so if it was like, well, I would love to continue my meditation practice, but I just can't sit down like that anymore. Oh, well, that'd be great. So, hey, Rosa, great to see you. So good news is you don't have to sit like that. Meditation is not, at least in my opinion, a seating position. Here on this channel, I like to talk about meditation or look at it through the lens of a technique that you can use to familiarize your mind with something. And I know that sounds vague, and it's because meditation is a very vast open bucket that you can put a lot of stuff into. So what do I mean by familiarizing your mind with stuff? Right? This is happening all day long. We don't really pay attention to it, but your mind is constantly making connections with things. I like this, I don't like that. That's how I get to the grocery store. Oh, this road's closed, so I shouldn't go here next time. Like, I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. But our mind is always doing that. It's always becoming familiar with things around us. And while we don't really go around saying, well, my mind is becoming familiarized with how to get to the grocery store, that is what's happening. And we can look at the concept of familiarity with like a physical action to see how that might kind of translate into mental actions, because for meditation, we're mainly focusing on mental. So, example I love using is tying your shoe, because it's something that y'all are really good at. And I've never seen you do it, but I know you are, barring some, disability preventing you from doing so. But without that, pretty sure you're an awesome shoe tire. You could probably tie your shoes with your eyes closed, upside down. I don't know in what scenario you would do that. Oh, thanks, Rosa. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming here for that time. It means a lot. Y'all are the best shoe tires on earth. Was that always the case? No. You were born, you didn't know what a shoe was, let alone a lace, let alone how to tie one, let alone that it needs to look elegant and also be supportive. And so the first time that you tried to tie your shoe, probably didn't go so well, right? Maybe you made a knot right away. Like, you made a knot. And then the second time, maybe you made a knot. And then the third time, maybe you didn't make a knot, but it still didn't kind of coalesce. And then slowly practice your mind becoming your mind and your body becoming familiar with the mechanics and strategy really of how to tie your shoe. You slowly became the expert that you are today. So the only thing that changed in between you being a wee babe, not being able to tie a shoe, and now is what? Practice, familiarity, right? And this is a good way of kind of thinking about how familiarity can impact our life, because it's everywhere and it impacts every aspect of our life, both physical and mental. So you might, if you're new to meditation, or even not, you may be here because you want to relax. It's the number one reason people get into meditation. You want to be less stressed, and we may meditate and we're feeling good. Oh man, meditation relaxes me. Meditation equals relaxation. That's a conclusion we might come to. But meditation is not actually relaxing you. Meditation does not have the power to pull relaxation out of the ether, this like concept or whatever, and like imbue you with it. What meditation is doing is teaching you to become extremely familiar with relaxed you, that version of yourself that is relaxed. We all have it. It may not show up as much as we want. It may not show up a lot at all, but it's there. And if we, think, if we're honest with ourselves and kind of think back, there are plenty of times that we've been in that kind of mode, not stressed, like, calm, cool, collective, whatever. It's in you. You don't have to go get it from somewhere. It's just a matter of becoming so familiar with that aspect of you that what happens? Similar to tying your shoe. The relaxed self starts to show up more readily with less effort, becomes second nature, starts to become like your default. You don't have to put as much concentration into it. It just kind of is. And that is a really, like, that to me is like a really good snapshot of how this can actually have really big lasting impacts on your life, right? Now, it does go both ways. Our mind does what it's familiar with, and those aren't always things that we necessarily would choose to be familiar with. Example, getting frustrated. Pretty easy to get frustrated. Having a great day, something happens, boom, just like that. And we don't really have to try very hard to get frustrated. No one's ever said, hold on, just in such a good mood, I gotta give this a second. But patience, which is kind of the antithesis of frustration or anger, sometimes we do have to try really hard to have that version of ourselves come up. We have to create some space, take some time, whatnot. And this is not because we are angry people. It's simply because in the grand scheme of your life and my life and all of our lives, we probably had more practice getting frustrated than being super patient. And so our mind is very familiar with getting frustrated and what to do with that. And so when something happens that triggers that label, off it goes. So this is all well and good, right? Sounds great, but how do we do this? Like, how do we start to dictate what we want our mind to be familiar with so that those awesome things can start to become our default? So when you start learning meditation, very commonly you will learn breathing meditation. Breathing meditation is a meditation where the focal point of your meditation is your breath. That's all. You don't have to use your breath. You can focus on walking. You can do meditation on sound or anything. It's the only thing that's really required for something to be considered meditation is we are actively choosing to focus single-pointedly on something. All right. So what does that mean? Focusing single-pointedly on something. We're not multitasking. Now, our mind is extremely familiar with multitasking. We've trained it to be so. Society encourages us to do that, and there's quite a good number of benefits from multitasking. We can get a lot of stuff done. But there's also a benefit for not doing that, and we don't really have a lot of practice in that area. So what we're doing here is essentially purposefully not multitasking, which is a little harder than it sounds because we just haven't really practiced it that much. And so what we're going to do is something called single-pointed concentration. We're focusing exclusively on one thing, so much that one like really interesting thing will start to happen. All the busyness in your mind, all those things, I could do this for work. Oh, that thing happened that I'm really upset about. They start to fade a little bit. They're not gone. They're still there, but they faded. And you have had this experience many times before. In the zone, flow state, whatever cool phrase you'd like to use. Like you're working on something really diligently, and then what happens? You lose track of time. You forget to eat. You don't hear the sounds of the office that normally drive you crazy. All of these things start to fade a little bit because we're so focused on one thing. So that's what we're going to start to try to do intentionally. We're going to intentionally choose to focus single-pointedly on our breath, so much so that all the busyness starts to kind of pacify. Right? And that is the kind of starting point of meditation, pacifying the busyness of your mind, and then beyond that, using your now pacified mind to think about something with clarity, with less busyness. But right now we're going to focus on pacifying our mind with breathing meditation. So here we go. It's 3 steps. Step 1 is we're going to choose to do this. Sounds ridiculous. You've chosen, you're here. I know. But like I said, we have had meditative experiences throughout our life many times unintentionally. And so we're starting to teach our mind that we can do this intentionally. So all I mean by step 1 is we're going to say something like, for the next couple of minutes, I'm going to focus single pointedly on my breath, and that's it. Right? We're just going to kind of let that idea sit in our mind, and then we're going to act on it. I'll be guiding the meditation, so you won't be on your own. But we're going to start focusing single pointedly on our breath. And step 2, whenever you notice that your mind is starting to drift a little bit, maybe it's starting to think about the weekend or something that happened earlier, we're just going to say, not right now. That's like our attitude to these thoughts. They're not annoying. They're not bad. They're not ruining our meditation. Just not now. And we're going to put those thoughts aside to the best of our ability. And then step 3 is bringing our attention back to our focal point, to our breath. Step 1, choose to focus single pointedly on your breath. Step 2, notice when your attention is drifting from that. Step 3, bringing your attention back. And it's a little loop. And it does not matter how many times you need to kind of bring your attention back. There's no barometer of success here. This is a practice, just like anything else. It is a practice, and you being here practicing is A+. Y'all get A+s already. All right, so let's do some breathing meditation together. You'll notice I'm not on the floor. You can be in an office chair if you like. You also can sit on the floor if that's your thing. You can lay down. You had a long day? Go for it. Go horizontal. Take a snooze. It does not matter what your seating position is. Just find something that is not actively uncomfortable. And you can go ahead and close your eyes, and I'm going to guide us through about a 5 to 7 minute breathing meditation. Okay. Whenever you start a meditation, it can be really helpful to take a moment and check in, to ask yourself, how am I feeling right now in this exact moment? Maybe you're feeling a little tired. It's been a long day. Maybe you're feeling energetic, excited to be here. Maybe you're feeling happy, or maybe a little sad. Whatever your mind is doing right now is perfect. We're not trying to change anything. There's nothing to change. We are just noticing. Practicing being an observer of our own mind. This is a technique called mindfulness. It's a word you probably have heard before. Mindfulness is a purposeful, active awareness of your thoughts moment to moment so that you can respond skillfully to those thoughts. And that starts with noticing. Noticing how you're feeling right now. Having taken some time to check in, we can now set an intention. We can make a promise to ourselves. And that intention, that wish, that promise is to focus single pointedly, exclusively on your own breath to the best of your ability for the next couple of minutes. This is your only task right now. All the other things can wait. They'll be there when you're done. For the next few moments, it's just you and your own breath in this moment. And with that intention set, that promise made, and firmly in your mind, we can act on it. Turn your full, undivided attention to your own breath, breathing in, breathing out, very gently and very naturally. You do not need to alter how you normally breathe here. You don't need to take big, deep inhales or forcefully exhale air. Whatever comes naturally to you, that's what I want you to do. Breathing in, breathing out. At some point, often rather quickly, you may notice your mind is no longer exclusively focused on your breath. It's starting to juggle multiple thoughts. Maybe you're thinking about something that you have to do after this class ends, or something that happened earlier today. Whenever you notice that your mind is drifting in this manner, we can just say, not right now, to those thoughts. We'll get to them later. Actually imagine yourself picking up those thoughts, placing them beside you. And with those thoughts waiting patiently by your side, you can intentionally bring your focus back to breathing in and breathing out gently, naturally. Single pointedly focused on each moment of each breath. Of all the countless times you breathe each and every day, few, if any, are we focusing entirely on breathing. What happens if we do? What happens if we choose to focus exclusively on each moment of each breath? Every time you inhale, I want you to imagine you're watching that air being slowly pulled from the atmosphere. Watch it as it gets closer and closer to you. Feel it enter your body. Visualize it moving through your body, making its way to your lungs, where you feel its burst of energy, your chest expanding to make room, your shoulders rising. This is what breathing in feels like. How wonderful. And what about when you exhale? Can you feel your shoulders fall? Your chest contract? Can you watch as your body gently pushes that air back through you? Watch as it exits your body. And stare at it as it begins to dissipate slowly, mixing in with all the other pockets of air until it's completely indistinguishable from the rest of the atmosphere. This is what breathing out feels like. How wonderful. When we single pointedly focus on something, such as our breath, we give ourselves the opportunity, we give our mind the opportunity to start to notice some subtleties about that activity, that object, that thing. Some subtle interests, subtle fascinations, subtle joys. Right now, you're learning to find some of that subtlety in breathing. And if you can find subtle interest and joy and curiosity in something as simple and accessible as your own breath, where else might you find it? Breathing in, breathing out. Very gently, very naturally. Keep bringing your attention back to your own breath as many times as you need to. This loop, choosing to focus single pointedly on your own breath, noticing when your attention drifts, being able to guide your attention back. That is meditation. You are meditating right now. You are a meditator. You are training your mind to tap into its natural, peaceful state. You're training your mind to focus on what you want to focus on. And right now, the only thing that you want to focus on is breathing in and breathing out, very gently and very naturally. For the last few moments here, just enjoy sitting here, breathing. No need to think about too much. Just take a little time for you. You deserve it. Okay. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome back. You did it. That's meditation. 3 steps. Doesn't mean it's super easy. And you may have noticed if you've been doing this a lot, that you're like, whoa, hey, something's going on with my mind because it's like constantly drifting. Welcome to our human mind. We all experience this, and this is a very natural thing to experience. And it's a really important thing to notice, because what you're actually doing is when you meditate and you kind of have this, I don't know, realization like, man, my mind's really busy. Like, why can't I keep my attention on my breath for more than X number of seconds? What you are realizing is this is what your mind is doing all day long without us kind of intervening and kind of taking notice. Our mind is just operating in this way. And as a result of it operating in this way for the vast majority of our hours, that's what we're familiar with, right? I mean, it's I mean, it is that simple. Like, your mind has had a lot of practice being real busy, and so it's hard for it to not be busy. But just like tying your shoe or learning a new language or learning all the things that we've learned in our life, they're learned behaviors, and we can, through practice, slowly start to change what our mind is really familiar with. Wouldn't it be awesome to be as familiar with being relaxed as you are with getting annoyed? That'd be great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So that is breathing meditation. If you have any questions on that, you can always feel free to ask. I am going to move on to our topic for today. And as I said before, this topic is we've taught it here many times. Today's a little special for me. I had a really good friend pass away yesterday, and they are somebody who really exemplifies the kind of theme that we're going to talk about. And I think I only started to really realize that later in the time that I knew him and whatnot. So we are going to talk about giving, specifically giving time and energy, and the kind of core of this is based around this idea of giving. And so we have to start with really understanding what that word is, kind of, what does it mean? Like, what are we saying when we're saying give, right? Giving is something that we generally associate with I'll call it a resource, right? That could be giving money. Maybe you pass by somebody on the street and they are presumably homeless, or are telling you they are, and they're looking for some financial relief, and we do that. We give a resource money, right? It can also be gifts, right? Holidays, birthdays, right? We give gifts, right? It's giving a resource. Donations to charities, giving resource, donating food. The list is quite long for resources. And kind of what we're talking about today is how that list is really long and way more subtle than you may think, right? Because often when we think about resources, it's a tangible thing. Here is money and I give it. Here is food and I give it. Here is a gift and I give it. Right? And that's a beautiful thing. Right? But it's not the only way to give. Giving is not something that requires necessarily a tangible physical resource. Right? What are some examples of giving that isn't that clear? Well, the first one is kind of what I mentioned before, giving time. At least that's what I'll call it. You think about volunteering, right? We are not giving a gift or money, but we are giving our time, right? Either formally, part of an organization, or like, your friend's like, hey, I'm moving. You're like, again? And then you're like, yeah, I could use some help. And you're like, oh, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to go help them, right? So like helping your friend move is a form of giving. You're giving your time to that person. Calling somebody to say hi. Right? It is a physical action we're calling, but like we're calling them, and that is time out of our day. And this idea of giving time is, when we think about it, I don't know that there's a like more precious resource. I am a big sci-fi fan, and I don't throw around quotes here very often, but there's a sci-fi book that I like, older, and there's a line that I read and I've never forgotten. It's been like a staple for me, and it's time is our most valuable resource. Time is our capital, right? It is the thing that is finite, right? We will not be here forever. And there's a lot of things that we can and want to do with our time. And, we have to sleep and we have other responsibilities. And so time is at a premium for us. And so while kind of when we don't investigate, giving resources of time doesn't maybe seem as valuable as giving a gift or whatnot. Time is everything to us, right? And somebody who gives that is giving you a really precious gift. This is something that my friend who passed was an expert. Type of person who like just is, if you needed something, he was there. And like also he can kind of intuit if you like needed something, and he would be there. And like very subtly, very naturally, just kind of a helper, man. Just always helping people. I worked with them for a long time, and they were pretty, high up in the company or whatnot. And they spent a lot of their time like helping people with their computers. And you might think somebody who's really high up, like that wasn't his job, but like he's spending a lot of time doing that. And I remember him saying, well, that's where I'm needed. And like, I just thought that was such a cool thing, right? Because like it wasn't like, oh, this is my job, this is what I do. It was like, my job is to help people to the best of my ability. That was his mantra. And it was beautiful. He was an expert at giving time, and he was also an expert at giving energy. And I think these two things are very connected, right? We talked about helping a friend move, right? It takes time. We are going there with truck, moving couch. It also takes energy, right? We had to move couch. And if you've ever tried to move a couch, I don't know how those movers do it. It's heavy stuff. And you will drain your energy quite quickly moving a couch. And energy, much like time, is an extremely valuable resource for us. We only have so much of it, and then we have to go to sleep and recharge and whatnot. Some of us seem to have more energy than others, but it is finite. Like you can't just carry couches endlessly without getting tired, right? And if you are spending all your energy doing thing A, well, then you don't have energy to do thing B. And so this is a very valuable resource for us. And to give it is like a really beautiful thing, right? Because similar to time, there are so many things we want to use our energy for. And some things we may kind of not immediately gravitate to, right? And like if somebody called me and was like, I need help moving, I'd be like, oh boy, that sounds tough. That'd be like my first thought. Not like, hey, I'm ready. And so like I'm basically kind of factoring in well, like how much time and energy is that going to give, right? That's the first thing that comes to mind. And so giving that, like actually helping somebody in that way, giving your time, giving your energy is such a beautiful form of giving. And it is not a tangible thing. It's not a dollar bill. It's not a gift box. It's not any of that. It's it's not like a thing, but it is. And you know, I would argue that in many cases it's even a greater gift, right? Um, Giving energy, I think a good example of how time and energy kind of work out together, like, you know, or intermingle, is calling somebody. Okay. So let's say I'm going to call a friend. I haven't spoken to them in a while. I'm going to give them a call, right? I'm giving them time, right? I'm taking time that I could be doing anything and I'm talking to them. Now, we may be talking to our friend and we're like talking to them, but like, not really, you know, we're like kind of watching TV also, or, you know, we're cooking while we're talking, we're multitasking, right? And so while we are giving time to them, we're not giving all of ourself, like our energy, like the essence of us to them as well. And so these two things, when we marry them together, that is like a really pure form of giving. At least that's how I view it, right? Calling a friend and then being like, I'm for the next couple of minutes, I'm just going to talk to them, and that's it, right? Giving time, giving energy, yourself to a situation, and this is not an easy thing to do. It's not. Um, we have a kind of built-in hierarchy. Like if our friend asks us for $1, we would give it to them. But if a perfect stranger asked for it, we might not. Right? Like that's just kind of like how we generally think. And so there is this kind of like, well, how much time and energy do I want to give to this person based on how important they are to me? Right? Um, and this is where I think my friend, his name is Nelson, was like really inspirational, right? Because I never saw him like kind of do that. It didn't matter like how much he knew you, 10 minutes or 10 years, man. And he was there, you know, if you needed it. And he like kind of broke through that really core hierarchy of like, well, how important is this person to me, you know? And then I choose if I want to help them or how much. And then the other thing that makes it really hard is it's hard to detect what our like true intentions are sometimes. Sometimes we volunteer purely to help. There's plenty of examples of people volunteering because it makes them look good, or like donating, you know, like all these like millionaires, they donate. Like it's cool, like they're giving a resource, like great, but like, is it because they really believe in this cause, or is it like a, you know, optics thing, right? And so only you, the person that's actively doing that, can like analyze where your intentions lie, and that can be really uncomfortable because we're human beings and we have fallacy and our intentions are not always pure, and to kind of wrestle with that can feel heavy. Um, when you are meditating, it often feels like we are doing it for us, right? You are here so you can become more relaxed. You are here so you can learn to be kinder to yourself. Right? And in a way, that is exactly what's happening. You are here to do that. It is a very personal journey. But you being here meditating practicing this, learning these things, investigating how your own mind works, this is not just for you. It is for everyone out there. Because if you're more relaxed, then maybe you're more available to be like Nelson, to just be able to be there, to not scrutinize how important this person is to you. If they need help, we're helping, right? That's the type of thing that comes when your mind is in a really good place. And so by you meditating, practicing this art form, yes, you are learning how to be more relaxed for yourself, but that expands into the world. And so what I want to do with our last few minutes here is do a meditation, and it's going to be basically identical to what we just did, except that what I want you to keep in the back of your mind here, and I'll remind us as we're doing it, but then this is for others too. This practice is not just for you. It is your way of, in this moment, giving your time and your energy. Right? You are sitting here. You could be doing anything, but you're here. You're giving your time. It takes energy to think. It takes energy to concentrate, to hear, to have somebody speak, and you're interpreting the what they're saying and then putting it to practice. That takes energy. You are giving time and energy right now, not just to you, but to the world, to everyone. And that is beautiful. So let's give some time and energy here intentionally with our next meditation. Okay? All right. If you are happy with your previous seating arrangement, congratulations. If you're not happy with your previous seating arrangement, you can change. You can lay down, do whatever you want. Speaking very highly. Yeah. Yes. That is, Janice, that is really good advice, and that's something that is really hard, right? Like when it's really personal to you, we kind of get lost in some of that. So thank you. So Andre, you're in luck. You came at the right time. We're about to do our next meditation. Excellent timing. All right, get comfy, close your eyes, and let's meditate, but for the purpose of giving our time and energy to the world. Okay. Take a moment and check in. How are you feeling in this exact moment? Not a comparison to before. Before is done. Only now. What's your mind up to? We're just noticing. We're not trying to change anything here. Just observing. Observing what your mind is up to in this exact moment. Having checked in, you can now set an intention, a promise, a wish. That intention, that promise, that wish is to focus single-pointedly, exclusively on your own breath to the best of your ability for the next couple of minutes so that you can start to make relaxed you show up more regularly to benefit those around you. That is your goal here. This practice is for you and everyone else in the world. Let that sit in your mind. With that wish, intention firmly in your mind, you can act on it. Turn your full, undivided focus to your own breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Very gently, very naturally. And if you begin to notice that your attention is drifting, thinking about something other than your breath, we can just say, not right now to those thoughts. We'll get to them later. Right now, we have a mission, and that mission is to focus single pointedly on our own breath for the benefit of ourselves and everyone around us. So, those other thoughts, they can wait. Bring your attention back to breathing in and out, gently, naturally. Keep bringing your attention back to your own breath whenever you need to. And as you do, give yourself a little reminder why you're here, why you're doing this. Giving is a beautiful gesture. And there's lots of things we can give. Most of the time, we think of it as tangible. But as we discussed today, there are also things that are not really tangible that we can give. Important things, things that are at a premium for you. Your time. We have an uncertain amount of time here on this earth. By you sitting here practicing meditation for the benefit of others, you are taking that precious time, that unknown amount, and dedicating some of it to the benefit of other people. How wonderful. What an incredibly kind gesture. As you're sitting here meditating or keeping an eye out for when our thoughts drift, This takes energy. An active awareness takes energy. Thinking, concentrating takes energy. Energy is something that is also at a premium for you. You only have so much before you need to stop, recharge. Right now, you are dedicating part of your energy resources to the world, to practicing something that can make you feel better and thus be there for more people more often. You are giving energy. What a wonderful gift. For the last few moments here, I'd like you to just continue to breathe in and out. And as you do, imagine every time you inhale, you're breathing in all of the stress and worries of the world. And as you're breathing out, you're sending back some joy. We're taking in hardship and we're sending out love. Breathing in, breathing out. Very gently, very naturally. Okay. Whenever you are ready, you can open your eyes. Hello, welcome back. So it was pretty much same structure as last time, but our intention was different, right? We went in with a more specific goal, and that was to do this, but for the benefit of others, not just to be relaxed. And it may not seem impactful, but if you kind of look at the spectrum of your day and think about the finite time, the finite energy you have, an hour, you're spending an hour here doing this. That is amazing. That is a gift to other people. And it's a gift to me. I love you guys being here because I love teaching, and so gifts are going all around. Thank you for being here today, and for allowing me to kind of use this space as something personal for me. It means a lot. Thank you, Cam. That means a lot to me. Thanks, Janice. Appreciate that. If you had a good time, great. I'm happy. Come on back next week. We're going to do more meditation stuff. I don't know what the topic is, but meditation. Also, thank you to anyone who subscribed during the live stream or live stream or chooses to do so later. Means a lot to me to have your support, and a big thank you to everyone who's here. So many of you come every week. You've been coming for years, and it is so cool. It means so much to me to be able to have this space to be together. So thank you. And if at any moment beyond when I sign off, you're like, wait, I had another question. No, worry not. I'm giving you my email. You can email me. Here's my email, Keith at meditationbreaks.com. Spelling is hard. There's my email. Feel free to email me if you have any questions on anything we talked about, something we didn't talk about, or if you're interested in doing some private meditation. That's something I offer. It's all virtual, very laid back, no cost to you. So just let me know. And thanks again for being here. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you all next time.